Well, I don't dislike Terry in any way. You know what I mean? I've crossed paths with him. He on Expendables, the role. I was casted for the role, but then I had an album and a fragrance getting ready to release, so I had to go do that.
Terry Crews, the charismatic actor and former NFL player known for his roles in Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Everybody Hates Chris, has long been a vocal advocate for survivors of sexual assault. Recently, Crews has publicly addressed a contentious and long-standing issue involving rapper and entrepreneur 50 Cent. Crews has exposed the details of an alleged attack by 50 Cent, bringing to light the complexities and challenges faced by men who speak out against sexual misconduct. This revelation not only sheds light on the personal struggle Crews has endured, but also underscores the broader societal issues surrounding masculinity, power, and the stigmatization of male survivors.
In 2016, I was sexually assaulted. The assault lasted only minutes, but what he was effectively telling me, he held the power.
In recent years, 50 Cent has carved out a distinct reputation for himself on social media, particularly Instagram, where his trolling has reached unprecedented levels. The rapper, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, has transformed online taunting into an art form, often targeting celebrities and public figures with his sharp and unapologetic wit. No subject or individual seems to be off limits for 50 Cent, as he consistently pushes the boundaries of social media etiquette. His provocative posts and relentless mockery have made him a polarizing figure, attracting both admiration for his boldness and criticism for his insensitivity. Through his relentless trolling, 50 Cent has managed to stay in the spotlight, sparking conversations and controversies that keep his name in the public eye.
I wasn't trying to make fun of a sexual assault victim. Terry Crews is like the Hulk. I don't dislike Terry in any way.
Sometimes journalists leave those things out. Yeah.
Terry Crews, known for his imposing physical presence and gentle demeanor, is a true gentle giant until provoked. The former NFL player turned actor has built a reputation for his kindness, resilience, and advocacy. Recently, Crews courageously shared some deeply personal and sensitive details about his life, particularly regarding his experiences with sexual assault. This revelation elicited a notably controversial and mocking reaction from 50 Cent. The rapper's response to Crews' vulnerability has stirred significant public interest and debate, highlighting the stark contrast between Crews' openness and 50 Cent's provocative online persona. In October, action star Terry Crews bravely took to Twitter to share a harrowing personal experience, revealing that he had been groped by a man he later identified as talent agent Adam Venit. This revelation was part of the broader #MeToo movement, where individuals across various industries began speaking out against sexual harassment and assault. Crews' decision to go public with his story was met with widespread support, but also drew mixed reactions, particularly from certain high-profile individuals, like 50 Cent. A few weeks ago, Terry Crews took his advocacy a step further by speaking at a Senate hearing for the Sexual Assault Survivors Bill of Rights. During his testimony, Crews recounted the emotional and psychological turmoil he endured following the incident with Adam Venit and explained why he chose not to fight back. He revealed that his decision was influenced by a lifetime of witnessing the severe repercussions that can occur when a black man is provoked to violence. Crews' powerful testimony underscored the complex layers of fear, societal expectations, and racial dynamics that often influence the responses of black men to such traumatic experiences. Actor and rapper 50 Cent faced widespread criticism on social media after he mocked Terry Crews following the latter's courageous decision to speak out about his experience with sexual assault. The backlash stemmed from 50 Cent's insensitive remarks, which belittled Crews' ordeal and minimized the seriousness of sexual assault. This incident underscored the ongoing challenges and stigma faced by male survivors of sexual violence, while also sparking conversations about empathy, respect, and the appropriate response to survivor stories. 50 Cent posted a pair of photos of Cruz on Instagram, one showing him topless with the words, "I got my wife just watched," superimposed over it, and another of the actor with a rose in his mouth and the words, "Gym time." "LOL, what the F is going on out here, man?" 50 Cent wrote in the caption. "Terry, L frozen fear, they would have had to take me to jail. Get the strap." Many criticized 50 Cent for his posts, even after he deleted them, as screenshots continued to circulate on social media. The backlash against the rapper highlighted the insensitivity and dismissiveness with which he initially responded to Terry Cruz's disclosure of sexual assault. Critics pointed out that such reactions perpetuate harmful stereotypes and attitudes towards survivors of sexual violence, particularly male survivors. The incident prompted broader discussions about the importance of supporting and believing survivors, regardless of gender, and the responsibility of public figures to handle sensitive issues with empathy and respect. Actress Kelechi Okafor joined the chorus of criticism directed at 50 Cent, who serves as one of the stars and producers of the Starz drama Power. Okafor publicly called out the rapper for his insensitive remarks towards Terry Crews following Cruz's disclosure of sexual assault. Her remarks added to the mounting pressure on 50 Cent to reconsider his stance and acknowledge the seriousness of the issue. The incident underscored the broader impact of celebrity behavior on public discourse surrounding sexual violence and the expectations of accountability in the entertainment industry. Toxic masculinity is what is doing it 50 Cent. Instead of showing support to a Terry Crews, he is mocking him, she wrote. Childish. On The View, Terry Crews addressed the tone-deaf message from 50 Cent. Crews emphasized, "I would never make fun of any assault victim," asserting his unwavering support for survivors. However, despite this initial statement, 50 Cent never offered an apology to Crews. Instead, he continued to question Crews' inaction during the assault, further highlighting the insensitivity and misunderstanding surrounding the complexities of such traumatic experiences. This ongoing tension between Crews and 50 Cent underscores the broader challenges faced by male survivors of sexual assault in finding empathy and support. 50 Cent further addressed the situation, saying, "If someone touched someone without their consent, would they go, 'What are you doing?'" In the Senate, when they were talking about it, Crews said he didn't even respond by doing that. He concluded his remarks with another joke, stating that if someone had groped him, he'd probably wind up in jail. He added, "You all would be bailing me out. I wouldn't be prepared for it." This dismissive attitude and continued mockery reflect a significant lack of understanding and empathy towards the experiences of sexual assault survivors, particularly men who often face additional stigma and scrutiny. Brooklyn Nine-Nine star Terry Crews appeared before the Senate Judiciary Committee to share his personal story of sexual assault and advocate for the Sexual Assault Survivors Bill of Rights. His testimony aimed to bring attention to the challenges faced by survivors and push for legislative changes that would ensure better support and protection for those who have experienced sexual violence. Crews' courageous stand not only highlighted his own ordeal, but also underscored the urgent need for systemic change to address and prevent sexual assault. I guess that's why we have this full room today. During the hearing, the committee's ranking member, Dianne Feinstein, introduced Terry Crews as part of a discussion on legislation to codify sexual assault survivors' rights. The proposed Sexual Assault Survivors Bill of Rights aims to establish and standardize specific protections for those reporting assault across all 50 states. Key provisions include the preservation of kits and the subsidization of forensic testing, ensuring that survivors have access to essential resources and support throughout the legal process. This legislation represents a critical step towards providing consistent and comprehensive rights for sexual assault survivors nationwide. This past year, we have seen powerful men in Hollywood and elsewhere finally held accountable for sexual assault, Cruz said in his opening statement. We also saw the backlash survivors faced coming forward. I wanted these survivors to know that I believed them, I supported them, and that this happened to me too. In reporting his assault, Cruz said, I heard time and time again about the rights that my predator had, but I was never told about the rights I had as a survivor. That was the wake-up call. I knew I had to be part of what was happening here today in regard to the Sexual Assault Survivor Bill of Rights. He added, if you know what you can do, you can actually do something about it. Terry Crews recounted a distressing incident that occurred at a party in 2016. He revealed that the head of the motion picture department at his then agency twice grabbed his genitals in front of his wife. This shocking and humiliating experience was a pivotal moment that eventually led Crews to speak out about the pervasive issue of sexual assault in Hollywood and beyond. His bravery in sharing this personal story has been a powerful catalyst for discussions about the abuse of power and the importance of standing up against sexual misconduct. His first reaction, Crews said, was to be violent, and I immediately held back. During a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on the Sexual Assault Survivors Bill of Rights, Terry Crews reflected on the #MeToo movement and shared his own experience. Crews disclosed through a series of tweets that he had been assaulted by a high-level Hollywood executive. Addressing the committee, Crews explained why he chose not to physically retaliate against his alleged aggressor, Hollywood agent Adam Venit. He feared that any act of violence could jeopardize his reputation, career, or even his safety. His testimony underscored the complex factors and personal dilemmas faced by survivors of sexual assault, highlighting the need for systemic reforms to protect and support victims within the industry and beyond. As a black man in America, he said, you only have a few shots at success. You only have a few chances to make yourself a viable member of the community. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I have seen many young black men who were provoked into violence. They were in prison or they were killed. They're not here. Crediting his wife, Rebecca King Crews, Terry Crews acknowledged her role in preparing him to respond calmly in difficult moments, such as the night he was sexually assaulted. Her guidance and support were instrumental in shaping Crews' approach to handling the aftermath of the assault, emphasizing resilience and thoughtful action in the face of adversity. This acknowledgement highlights the importance of supportive relationships in navigating and overcoming traumatic experiences. She said, if you ever get goaded, if you ever get prodded, if you ever have anyone try to push you into any kind of situation, don't do it. Don't be violent, Crews said. Terry Crews recounted that it was his wife who advised him in the aftermath of the assault. She counseled him to exercise restraint, emphasizing that if anyone ever tried to coerce him into a compromising situation, he should refuse to comply, but also not to give up. This guidance from his wife underscored the importance of maintaining dignity and integrity in the face of adversity, and it ultimately influenced Crews' decision to speak out against sexual assault and advocate for survivors' rights. Her support has been pivotal in his journey as an advocate and survivor. She trained me and told me if this situation happens, let's leave, he said, and the training worked because I did not go into my first reaction. The training worked, but the next day I went right to the agency and I have texts, I have my own conversations, and I told them this is unacceptable. Crews recounted how he promptly approached his agency the day after the incident to lodge a complaint and demand accountability for his mistreatment. Despite his efforts, he expressed deep disappointment that no action was taken to address the assault or hold his aggressor accountable. This lack of response underscored systemic challenges and the reluctance within institutions to confront allegations of sexual misconduct, reflecting broader issues of accountability and support for survivors in professional settings. I was told, we're going to do everything in our power, Crews said. We are going to handle this, Terry. You're right. It is unacceptable. And then they disappeared. Nothing happened. When Terry Crews confronted the agency about the assault and asked what they were going to do about the predator roaming your halls, he received assurances that action would be taken. However, Crews recounted that these promises quickly evaporated as the issue was brushed aside. The man in question, Adam Venett of William Morris Endeavor, was eventually demoted but not fired, highlighting the frustrations and systemic challenges faced by survivors seeking accountability and justice in such cases. Crews' experience shed light on the complexities and shortcomings within institutions when addressing allegations of sexual misconduct. The assault lasted only minutes, but what he was effectively telling me while he held my genitals in his hand was that he held the power, that he was in control, Crews said of the encounter with Venett. The experience encouraged me to come forward with my own experience and reflect on the cult of toxic masculinity, Terry Crews explained. His decision to speak out not only brought attention to his personal ordeal, but also sparked a broader conversation about the societal pressures and expectations that perpetuate toxic behaviors and attitudes towards masculinity. Crews' courage in confronting these issues has been instrumental in advocating for cultural change and promoting greater awareness about the impact of sexual assault on individuals and communities. I'm not a small or insecure man, but in that moment and in the time that followed, I've never felt more emasculated, Crews said. Watching women step forward as part of the #MeToo movement, he added, "This shame washed over me again and again, and I knew I had to act." And speak out he has, both as a victim and as a man in a position to affect change. Terry Crews has courageously used his platform to advocate for survivors of sexual assault, sharing his own story to challenge societal norms and promote accountability. His dual role as a victim and an influential figure has allowed him to amplify the voices of others and push for systemic reforms to better support survivors and prevent future incidents of misconduct. Crews' unwavering advocacy underscores his commitment to fostering a safer and more inclusive environment for all. "I have to say the silence is deafening when it comes to men coming forward," he said. "As I told my story, I was told over and over that this was not abuse, that this was a joke, that this was just horseplay. But one man's horseplay is another's humiliation." And though he appeared before Congress as an individual on that Tuesday, Terry Crews insisted that he stands on the proverbial shoulders of many. His advocacy for survivors of sexual assault is rooted in the collective strength and resilience of countless others who have bravely shared their stories and fought for justice. By acknowledging the contributions and struggles of those who came before him, Crews emphasized the importance of solidarity and community in addressing and overcoming issues of sexual violence. His statement reflects a deep gratitude and recognition of the ongoing efforts to create a more supportive and equitable society for all survivors. I sit here before you just as an example, because a lot of people don't believe that a person like me could actually be victimized, and what happened to me has happened to many, many other men in Hollywood. And since I came forward with my story, I've had thousands and thousands of men come to me and say, "Me too, this is my story." During the Senate hearing on Tuesday, Terry Crews disclosed that he would no longer be part of future Expendables franchise films. He explained that this decision stemmed from his refusal to comply with a producer's request to drop the lawsuit he had filed against Adam Venett, whom he accused of groping him. This revelation highlighted Crews' steadfast commitment to seeking justice and holding perpetrators accountable, even in the face of potential professional repercussions. His stance underscored the ongoing challenges faced by survivors of sexual assault in balancing personal integrity with career considerations. "I've done 3 movies called The Expendables with Sylvester Stallone," Crews said. "The producer of that film called my manager and asked him to drop my case in order for me to be in the 4th installment of the movie. And if I didn't, there would be trouble. Recently, all parties involved reached a settlement agreement with 2 key conditions. First, WME, William Morris Endeavor, would implement a revised policy on employee conduct to more seriously address client sexual assault and battery. Second, Adam Vennet would resign from the firm permanently, with no possibility of returning. This resolution marked a significant step towards accountability and institutional change within the entertainment industry, prompted by Terry Crews' courageous decision to speak out about his experience. Terry Crews expressed anger and frustration at how some men reacted cynically, not only to his own story, but also to the stories of sexual assault victims who came forward following the initial reports about Harvey Weinstein in Hollywood. He highlighted that some men went as far as suggesting that the victims were seeking fame, dismissing the seriousness of their experiences. Crews' response underscored the broader societal challenges faced by survivors of sexual assault, including the disbelief and victim-blaming attitudes perpetuated by certain individuals and communities. His advocacy aimed to challenge these harmful narratives and support a more empathetic and supportive environment for all survivors. One fan wrote, "And even after the horrible things 50 Cent said, Terry Crews said he still loved 50 Cent and enjoys his music. He really is an incredible man." Another one added, 50 Cent is trash and has been for a while. He's disgusting and perpetuates culture, and he hasn't had a hit since 03. He better apologize to Terry Crews, and people that found what he said funny are just as stupid. Terry Crews' courageous decision to confront 50 Cent for his insensitive remarks marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing conversation about sexual assault and the treatment of survivors. By speaking out against the rapper's dismissive attitude, Crews not only defended his own dignity, but also stood up for the countless others affected by similar acts of violence. Crews' resilience in the face of criticism and skepticism underscores his commitment to raising awareness and fostering a culture of understanding and justice for all. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.